Hello, my students. My name is Victor today Clements. I'm geography teacher. Our topic today is the rocks of the earth surfaces from 3 topics. My dear students, I have some piece of here on the table. What is this? And also, what is this? Yes, my student, we say this is a stone. But this stone, if there is covered in large area, we call is a rock, is not a stone. So what is made up of this? This is made up of different material, which is making this to be accumulated together. So what is rock, my students? What is rock? What is rock? Who can try? Rock is aggregated. Is aggregated of mineral. Aggregated of mineral in a solid state. It's aggregated of mineral. Here, my students, the word aggregated means is compacted together. If maybe something is in liquid, so if it's dry and compacted together, we can say is aggregated. And the mineral here, example, or we can say, is a goldie. Goldie is a mineral. Coal is a mineral. And tanzanite is a mineral. So we can say this, if collected together and mixed in a lens and compacted, this we can call is a rock. So the rock is a mixture. We can say simple, the rock is a mixture of different minerals in a solid state. It means that there is no rock which we can say is a liquid. Is no rock we can say is a liquid. So my student, from our piece we have here, so we need to explain the general characteristics of a rock. General characteristic of a rock. This means a general characteristic. It's not a rock available in Tanzania. This we can say is a rock all available in the world. So from the piece I have here, I need you, my student, to give us some characteristic of this. Look at these 2 pieces of lens. Can you give a characteristic of this? Yes, my student. Number 1, we can say we can distinguish a rock into color. The rock is different in color from one type to another. Maybe you can say these 2 colors. This you can look like white, and this you can look like a dark. So this one is among the characteristics of rock in all over the world. So this is the one characteristic of a rock in the world. A second one, we can say, let us take these 2 pieces of rock. We can say this and this is a different color. But all of this, and I can take in this also, both is a solid. So another characteristic of a rock, all rock in the world, all rock is solid. Is it a solid? We mean that, my student, there is no rock in solid, in liquid, or rock in gases. That is another characteristic. The third characteristics, also let us take these types of rock, and when we talk these types of rock, my student, on this, when we take this rock, I think can produce some small pieces of rock, and this cannot remove a piece of rock. We say that the rock is crystallines. Crystallines. It means that it can have made up of small pieces of rocks. Also, let us look another characteristic of a rock. If we take this rock, it's too heavy, and if we take this rock, is very too light. So we can distinguish a rock into weightness. Some rocks is very weight, and some rock is very heavy. We can distinguish between these two rocks. This is heavy. If we measure, this is very heavy, and this is very light. Another is clearance. Number 5 is a clearance. Clearance. When we say clearance, we mean that clearance fractures. If I take this rock and when I hit here, this rock can take into 2 pieces. But if I take this rock and when I hit this cannot make different pieces. And also, those rocks, when I hit them, can be separated into pieces. So all rock in the world can be clearance. It means that it can be make flexures and make it get different pieces. And another is laced. 6C is laced. Lustrous. Or we can say is shine. Or shyness. Let's take example on this rock. If we take this mineral, we look on these rocks, we can look, it is some shining material in this. And if we look, this rock cannot have a shining material. So we can say the shiningness or lustrous is different from one rock to another rock. So this is the mineral which is made of this rock can be shine, and the mineral made of this rock cannot be shine. So this we can say also is a rock which can be shine in different from one types of rock to another types of rock. So this we can say is a rock which is this you can say is a characteristic of a rock all over the world. So my dear student, that is, you can distinguish a rock from one another. So now let us look types of rocks. Types of rocks. Types of rocks in general, there are 2 types. Can be grouped into 2 types. The rock, number 1, the rock. Here we can talk about the rock according to model or mode of formation. We mean that, my student, how the rock is formed. How the rock is formed. And the second, we can distinguish a rock into chemical, we can say into chemical composition. It means that some rock is different in chemical composition. When we take this rock is shine, and this is shine, and this cannot shine. The mineral formed of this rock is different from one area to another. So let us begin with types of rock according to mode of formation. Let us discuss a rock according to the mode of formation. The rock according to the mode of formation there are three types of rock. Here we can say number one is igneous rock. A second one we can say sedimentary rock, and the third one we can talk is about metamorphic rock. So why we call this according to the mode of formation? The formation of igneous, we can look, my students, is different from the mode of formation in sedimentary rock, and also is a difference from the mode formation of metamorphic rocks. Igneous is different from sedimentary, and the sedimentary is different from the metamorphic. So let us look one by one, or each types, and then you can explain in individuals the characteristic mode of formation and the types of rock which are available on the earthy surfaces. So let us begin with the igneous rock. Igneous rock. How the igneous rock is formed? My students, let us remember in Form 1 topics, or we can say in volcanic processes, we can say when we draw the interior structure of the earth, we can say in an outer core here, we can say there is a molten state in nature. So the molten state, when under the ground, this we can say is called what? Magma. So the magma, when it penetrates to the Earth's surface, when it reaches to the Earth's surface, is called what? It's called the lava. So here we talk about magma and lava. So the formation of igneous rock is a rock formed from solidification of molten material, and a bracket we call is magma. Is a solidification of molten material called the magma, and when on the earth's surface is called what? Lava. So this, it means that when this material, when it erupts on the earth's surfaces, my student, is come into a liquid state, or we can say in a molten form. So if there is solidify within the earth's surfaces and the solidify outside of the earth's surfaces, both can be compacted to make a hardy compacted material. That material which when is dried, and they come when they dried, that material because is igneous rocks. So this we can say is igneous rocks. So this is formed through the process of solidification when magma is erupted. So let us look the characteristic of this rock. Characteristics of igneous rocks. Characteristics of igneous rocks. So we are already looking, my students, the general characteristics of the rocks as we begin there. So let us look at these rocks in individual. It is different from the origin, or is different from the general characteristics. So let us one characteristics. Number one is hard compacted material. Is a compacted material and precious. When you say precious, means you say is valuable. It is hard. We mean that as the formation is molten, but when they come to be dried, this rock can be hard. So igneous rock is hardy rock, my student. A second characteristic here is this can be distinguished to another types of rock in their way of formation. We can say it is formed, number 2, it is formed by cooling of molten material, in a bracket we call magma or lava in a solid state. So this can stand as characteristics the way how it's formed. We can say this rock can be formed in a cooling process. Here's a very important word, is a cooling process, and into solid state from the magma and the lava. So that you can say is another characteristic of this rock. Also, another characteristic here. So let us come back here to the magma. We can say the magma, if solidified, it means that the layer of the mantle here can be dissolved due to the high temperature and the pressure. Student. So here we can say this material, if there is can come to be liquefied, so can have a different mineral. So the rock, it have a different chemical composition. Here, chemical composition. It means that the igneous rock, if we can take it, the coal, such as this types of rock is a coal, and the other types of rock, when we can say this is also igneous rock, but this can made up of different mineral. This is a lot of carbon, and this is non-carbon. So we can say the rock can be different in chemical composition, but due to it depends upon where it's formed and what the material is mixed. As we say before, we say this is a aggregated of different mineral. So this is, my student, is another characteristic. Another characteristic here is number 4, is crystalline. Is crystal lines. Say is crystalline or have some crystals. The sedimentary rock also can have some crystals in here. If you are breaking down, can be breaking into small pieces of rocks. So this we can say can have a different crystallines, can have some pieces of crystals on here. So this is a common of types of rock. It depends upon the material which is made up. And number 5. Number 5. The rocks, the igneous rock can undergo into sedimentary rock. Can undergo into sedimentary rock. My dear students, when we say the word undergo, it means that it can be changed from original rock to new rock. It means that if we break this igneous rock into small pieces, and if coming wind or water, this material can be carried by river and deposited on the ocean. So if deposited on the ocean, these materials can form another types of rock. So this you can say is a rock which can undergo into new rock. And lastly, we can say this rock, the igneous rock, rock can undergo into metamorphic rock. Under what? Under heat. Here we can say under heat. In our environment we live, my student, we can take this rock and then you can take a firewood and we can heat. This rock change into calcium, or into powder. So if you take into powder and then if there is getting water, can be compacted together to make the hard material. So this you can say this rock can change into, if we get heat, this rock can be heated and they can change their physical and chemical properties from the original rock. So my student, by this we can say is some characteristic of sedimentary rock. So by these two processes, can undergo into sedimentary, can undergo into metamorphic. It means that a geographer now, this rock is called is a mother rock. Sedimentary, igneous rock is a mother rock. Why is a mother rock? Is a mother rock because all rock available on the earth, sedimentary and metamorphic, is come from igneous rock. So that you can say the major causes you can say is a mother rock. And also 99% of the total rock available on the Earth's surfaces is originated from igneous rock. So we can say it's 99%. Nearly 1% is come from other rocks, but this is 99% of the total rock available on the Earth. We can say come from the come from the igneous rock. So my students, I think we are aware now, already know about the general characteristic of a rock. When we look at this piece of rock, we can distinguish one rock types to another. And also, we discuss about the types of rock, but we look only the types of rock into the form of the model of their formation. And we discuss about the igneous rock. You can say this rock is formed by cooling process. So we look at also characteristic. So by the end up, my student, let us leave you with some question. And this question you can answer yourself or in the video, and by helping with your sister at home. So I have 2 questions here. We can discuss it your home as a homework. Number 1, with the example, identify types of rock. This means with example, identify types of rock. And the number 2, describe how you can distinguish rock into the field. It means here, when you're going into the field, how you can distinguish one rock to another. So I need you to describe, but use 4 points. So my dear students, we are end up of our lesson. We can continue in next coming period. Bye-bye.